Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. The NFL world is buzzing with one of the most unexpected moves in recent memory, as Chase Young, the electrifying defensive end, is reportedly returning to Washington in what insiders are calling a lightning-fast trade that has stunned fans and analysts alike. Sources close to team management indicate that the negotiations moved at breakneck speed, catching rival franchises off guard and leaving social media in a frenzy of speculation and excitement. The whispers began early in the morning, with cryptic hints dropped by commentators and insiders, fueling the fire of curiosity among followers who have long tracked Young's career with intense interest. Fans immediately began dissecting potential trade packages, wondering what Washington gave up to secure a player of his caliber and debating whether this move signals a shift in the team's long-term strategy. Analysts are pointing to Young's physical prowess, his ability to disrupt opposing offenses, and the psychological edge he brings to the defensive line, all of which make him a valuable asset in a league where momentum can shift with a single play. The energy surrounding the move has been palpable, as both critics and supporters weigh in on what this could mean for the upcoming season. Some insiders suggest that Young's familiarity with Washington's system could allow him to hit the ground running, which might give the team a sudden boost in performance without the typical adjustment period that comes with new acquisitions. The trade, which reportedly happened in a matter of hours, has been framed as a masterstroke by Washington's front office, with fans already imagining the headlines and highlight reels that will follow. Observers are now eagerly anticipating Young's first game back, speculating on the matchups he will dominate and the quarterbacks he might sack, all while the narrative around his career takes yet another dramatic twist. In essence, this sudden return is not just a player movement. It's a statement that Washington is positioning itself aggressively, signaling to the entire league that they are serious about contending and willing to make bold moves to reclaim respect and relevance. The timing of this trade adds another layer of intrigue, coinciding with a period in the NFL calendar when teams are solidifying their rosters and evaluating their playoff potential. Fans and commentators alike are noting that bringing Young back could dramatically alter Washington's defensive dynamics, potentially elevating the team from a mid-tier contender to a genuine threat in the conference. Sources reveal that the trade was executed so rapidly that even some of Washington's own staff were reportedly caught off guard, underscoring the urgency and decisiveness behind the front office's decision-making process. Social media exploded within minutes of the news breaking, with clips of Young's past highlights trending alongside memes and speculative commentary, as fans attempted to imagine the immediate impact of his presence on the field. Analysts are particularly focused on how Young's return will affect the team's draft strategy and salary cap management, considering the implications of such a high-profile acquisition in the context of long-term planning. There is also a psychological component to consider. The message sent to both current roster players and rival teams is clear. Washington is willing to make aggressive moves to strengthen its competitive position, and they see Young as a cornerstone of that effort. Conversations in sports circles have quickly shifted to comparisons with other blockbuster trades in recent NFL history, with some suggesting that this could be one of the most impactful defensive moves of the decade if Young maintains his elite performance. The rumors surrounding the trade package have been swirling, with unnamed sources hinting at a combination of draft picks and players sent to make this deal happen, fueling endless debate among pundits and fans over the cost-benefit of such a high-stakes gamble. Speculation is rife that Young's leadership and experience, coupled with his explosive on-field skills, might provide the spark Washington needs to solidify their defensive identity, a factor that could be pivotal in close games where a single sack or forced turnover changes everything. Everyone is now watching closely to see how this strategic acquisition will play out in real time, eager to witness whether Washington's gamble will pay off or if unforeseen challenges might complicate this highly anticipated reunion. Rumors are also circulating about the locker room dynamics that Young's return could influence, with insiders suggesting that his presence may galvanize younger players while simultaneously raising expectations for veteran teammates. Observers are debating whether the leadership qualities Young brings will help cultivate a culture of accountability and intensity, potentially reshaping Washington's internal chemistry in subtle yet significant ways. Betting lines and fantasy football rankings are already shifting, reflecting the widespread perception that Young's impact could extend far beyond the defensive stat sheet, influencing game plans, defensive schemes, and even the psychology of opposing offenses. Analysts are noting that his ability to penetrate offensive lines and create pressure in critical situations makes him a versatile weapon, one capable of altering the narrative of entire games. The trade has also reignited discussions about Young's career trajectory, highlighting the promise he showed in his early seasons, the setbacks he endured, and now this opportunity to return to a familiar environment where expectations are sky-high. Fans are poring over every past highlight, clip, and interview, dissecting how Young's playing style has evolved and what improvements he may bring to Washington's defensive front. There is an air of anticipation as pundits speculate on how his reintegration will affect team strategies and whether the coaching staff will adjust schemes to maximize his strengths. The notion that Young's arrival could be a catalyst for broader organizational changes is also gaining traction, as insiders suggest that management may be signaling a shift in philosophy, aiming to blend talent acquisition with cultural reinforcement. Social media chatter is relentless, with fans debating potential matchups, projected stats, and the overall strategic impact, while highlight reels from past seasons resurface to remind everyone of his raw talent. It's the kind of buzz that keeps sports enthusiasts glued to screens, waiting for every press conference, practice report, and snippet of insider information that could shed light on how Washington plans to leverage this blockbuster acquisition in the months to come. The speculation, excitement, and strategic implications combine to make Young's return one of the most electrifying storylines of the NFL offseason. In addition to the tactical considerations, there's a narrative angle that fans and media alike are consuming voraciously. The story of Young's journey, his personal resilience, and the emotional resonance of returning to a team where he first made a major impact. Commentators are drawing attention to the arc of his career, noting that this trade feels almost cinematic, a perfect storm of timing, opportunity, and rekindled relationships with coaches and teammates. The idea that Young could re-establish himself in a familiar system, where he once thrived, adds a layer of intrigue that goes beyond statistics and performance metrics. Observers are speculating on the possible psychological effects on rival teams, suggesting that seeing Young back in Washington colors could be intimidating, signaling that the team's defense is suddenly a renewed force to be reckoned with. There are even whispers about behind-the-scenes meetings, strategy sessions, and the kind of rapid planning that makes such trades successful, fueling narratives about the sophistication and decisiveness of Washington's management. Analysts are connecting dots between this move and potential shifts in coaching strategies, positing that Young's presence might encourage more aggressive defensive calls or new formations designed to exploit his unique abilities. Fans, meanwhile, are flooding forums and social media with anticipation, eagerly discussing where Young will fit in, how he will complement existing defensive stars, and what this means for the team's overall identity. The emotional dimension cannot be understated. The return of a fan favorite brings renewed hope, rekindles loyalty, and provides a tangible symbol of ambition, which is exactly what Washington wants as it gears up for a competitive season. In essence, this trade is not just about player movement. It's about narrative, momentum, and the rekindling of excitement around a franchise eager to make waves both on and off the field. Speculation continues about how Washington's defensive line will adjust to Young's reintegration, with insiders suggesting that practice squads, rotational players, and even coaching responsibilities may see subtle shifts to accommodate his explosive style. There's chatter that Young's presence could redefine the hierarchy of the defensive front, influencing snap counts, alignment decisions, and even leadership roles within the team. Analysts are pointing out that the combination of his speed, strength, and game intelligence makes him capable of producing game-changing plays on a weekly basis, potentially altering the way opponents plan their offensive strategies. The rumors extend to potential long-term implications, such as draft decisions, contract negotiations, and even trade considerations, all of which could ripple through the franchise as management balances immediate impact with sustainable growth. Fans are dissecting highlight reels, breaking down game film, and imagining scenarios where Young's arrival swings close games in Washington's favor, turning what might have been defeats into pivotal victories. Conversations are also emerging about Young's potential role in mentoring younger defensive players, creating a culture of accountability and performance that could last beyond his tenure. Analysts are particularly interested in the matchups he will face, considering quarterbacks, offensive tackles, and schemes that could challenge him, while debating how his unique talents might force opponents to rethink their own strategies. Social media discussions are vibrant, blending optimism, skepticism, and a fascination with the sheer audacity of the trade, creating an atmosphere of speculation that dominates the NFL discourse. The intrigue surrounding the trade package, the strategic implications, and Young's potential impact on team morale makes this story irresistible to fans, pundits, and casual observers alike, ensuring that Washington remains at the center of attention as the league braces for what could be a transformative season. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. Whispers about the financial and contractual dimensions of Young's return are adding another layer of drama, with insiders speculating about cap space management, performance incentives, and potential renegotiations that could influence future trades or acquisitions. Analysts are noting that the economics of the deal may be just as critical as the on-field talent, with Washington needing to balance immediate gains with sustainable fiscal planning. Fans are intensely interested in how the team navigates this, often debating whether the financial cost was justified by the potential game-changing impact of adding a player of Young's caliber. Social media has exploded with predictions, conjectures, and even playful memes regarding contract details, while sports journalists dig into potential scenarios that could arise from the trade. Observers are also speculating on how Young's return could affect team dynamics, locker room morale, and relationships with both coaching staff and fellow players, all of which are crucial in translating individual talent into collective success. Analysts point out that Young's presence could serve as both a motivational catalyst and a standard-bearer for performance expectations, influencing not just plays, but also the broader team culture. There's an ongoing conversation about whether this trade signals a larger philosophy shift in Washington's approach to team building, with some suggesting it reflects a more aggressive, win-now mindset that prioritizes high-impact acquisitions. Fans, meanwhile, are thrilled by the prospect of seeing one of the league's most dynamic defensive talents back in action, with anticipation building for press conferences, training camps, and the first glimpses of Young on the field in his second tenure with Washington. The combination of strategic, financial, and emotional factors makes this trade a multifaceted story, captivating attention across multiple spheres of the NFL landscape, and promising endless discussion as the season approaches. The narrative surrounding Chase Young's return to Washington is becoming almost mythic, with commentators drawing parallels to past trades, dramatic player comebacks, and the transformative effect a single individual can have on an entire franchise. Speculation is rampant that Young's presence will immediately elevate the team's defensive capabilities, create a renewed sense of identity, and even alter the trajectory of Washington's season. Analysts are exploring every angle, from snap efficiency to player chemistry, from potential media narratives to fan engagement metrics, all while the underlying excitement keeps spreading across platforms. Rumors about the initial reception in training camps, the adaptation to new or familiar playbooks, and the potential mentoring of younger defensive prospects dominate insider chatter, emphasizing both the short-term and long-term implications. Fans are crafting vivid expectations, imagining highlight reels of game-changing sacks, forced fumbles, and defensive dominance, feeding the collective imagination with every report that surfaces. Media outlets are balancing speculation with analysis, weighing the immediate tactical advantages against broader franchise strategies, while social media amplifies every hint, leak, or insider insight into viral discussion threads. The sense of urgency and anticipation is palpable, with every segment, tweet, or post potentially shaping public perception of Washington's bold move. In the midst of this whirlwind, Young himself becomes a central figure not only on the field but in the story of the team's ambitions, symbolizing resilience, talent, and the allure of dramatic comebacks. The convergence of narrative, rumor, and tangible impact makes this trade a compelling saga, one that is poised to dominate NFL discussions and fan imagination for months to come, as everyone waits to see how this bold gamble unfolds in real time on the gridiron. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.